All right, I'm here with Sandy Roach. Hi, Sandy. David
Hi.
Donovan from
Hi,
Independent
David.
Australia.
Nice to meet you.
Really nice to meet you. How do you think it's all going?
It's going pretty good, actually. I've been quite encouraged by the constant people that are coming through, and they're like actually saying, we're voting for One Nation. There's been a bit of a shift, I believe, over the last year too, from last year's federal election to this year. So yeah, I'm quite encouraged.
Oh, that's terrific. So, why do you think people have been sort of coming around to your way of thinking?
I believe that they've had enough of the Labor and Liberal fiascos that are going on, and also that Pauline Hanson has been she's been around for over 20 years, and she's just kept to her word, and she says it as it is. And you may like it, you may not like it, but I think there's a general consensus that people are starting to go, well, a lot of what she's saying is actually coming to pass, and so they're actually going, okay, we're going to give One Nation a go.
All right. Has Pauline been here in this electorate, helped you with the campaign at all?
Not as of yet, but she is coming.
What about James Ashby? Have you seen him?
No, I have not seen James at all. I have Malcolm Roberts has been down a couple of times. He was here on Saturday with me, and then all day yesterday. All right. So, and he'll be back on polling day as well.
Okay. Just on your feeling about the election, do you feel like you're in with a, I've heard that there's a swing on. Do you feel you're in with a chance on Saturday?
I do, actually. I've come in this, election quite excited that in the last year there's been a lot of upset, and with the whole robo-debt thing coming out with the Liberal and just in the last week, and also the Disinformation Act and the no for the voice. Or yes, they want yes, but we're saying no. That's causing a swing as well. People are just, I suppose, had enough of big politics, and they want genuine people in the house. So, yeah. And I've just lived in the area for 30 years. I've raised my children here. I've supported small business through my bookkeeping and accounting business, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the lies and the corruption, and I'm sick of just broken promises at every election. And I just decided that's it. I've had enough, and I'll just put my hand up and see how I go.
All right, so there's been the Robo-Debt Royal Commission report handed down this week, which may or may not have named the previous long-term member, Stuart Robert, who, as a matter of fact, I should disclose, I went to school with.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, up in Rocky.
Yeah.
How do you think that may affect the vote this weekend in Fadden?
Well, we're back here because of that. A year later, it's costing the taxpayers money to have this by-election, and it's all coming out about what that robo-debt has cost. Yep. in way of lives, in way of just the government's no care attitude towards the people that it represents. And people are upset with it. People are like, well, why, it was being, I suppose, I'd heard mostly about it coming into the last federal election, and people were saying, is Stuart Roberts going to run? And they were going, oh no, he probably won't. He might resign at this time, or he might just step aside as the candidate coming in, but he didn't. And so here we are now, 12 months later, at a by-election. So,
do you think the local people are a little bit annoyed that they've had to go to a by-election so soon after, a federal election?
I do believe they are, and a lot of people don't even understand why we're here. They're like, well, didn't we just vote a year ago, and why are we back here again, and what's going on? And it's been very hush-hush by the mainstream media too. They're not letting it out. And so we're standing at the polling booth saying, well, it's because of the robo-debt that we're back here again, and Stuart Roberts has resigned as the sitting member. And so people are like, so, there's not a lot of information out there about it. It's been very well, subdued is the word I think that you would use in regard to the mainstream media actually reporting on actual facts and telling the Australian people, or even the people of Fadden, what is actually happening within the electorate. So, yeah, that's about it.
So there has been some talk that there's been a bit of media come around, and they've spoken mostly to the LNP and a little bit to Labor, but not to any other candidates. Have you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, they were here on Friday, the big fanfare with Barnaby Joyce, and I'm not sure who the other one was. Yeah, and I actually went over to Channel 9 and I approached them and I said, well, are you going to give One Nation the same time? Malcolm Roberts is going to be here on Monday, definitely. And I actually, said to them, will you come and, give us fair time? And they more or less said, oh, you have to do a press release and let us know. And then it's up to the bosses of Channel 9 whether we come. And Malcolm was here all day yesterday and nothing. So it says a lot, doesn't it?
Well, you'd sort of think that Malcolm Roberts, being a reasonably big name, would attract some of the media. So
yeah, well, Malcolm's been quite active right across the board on a lot of issues, and he's been telling how it is, and he's got all his facts and figures absolutely correct. So yeah, you would think that they would want to interview him and get some background on what's going on. However, he did say that even when he was up in Rocky over the last few weeks, they did a big forum on crime, and instead of actually taking the footage that they shot with Malcolm in it, they actually cut him out and put David Christofelli in. And so, we can't even get a fair shake that way. Here's Malcolm up in North Queensland reporting on crime and actually trying to introduce a new, through what's happening, and they can't even give him the fair airtime.
yeah, that's disturbing. Well, it's been a long campaign, like you've said. 6 weeks you've been at this, so I won't, keep you for too much longer. But have you got any last words for the voters of Fadden before the polls on Saturday?
Yeah, I'd just like everyone to be aware that the reason why we're here is because of the robo-debt and the Liberal Party's mishandling of that. And also that, there's a disinformation bill that's been trying to pass at the moment through Labor, and also the whole voice to Parliament. We need to be making a clear vote that we don't want it.
So One Nation are fully against the voice?
100%, yes, it's a no.
Yeah. So what is your party's position on that, just in short?
On the voice to Parliament, there's not enough information on it to make a genuine, informative decision, and Pauline and both Malcolm have made it very clear that unless there's more information and a full disclosure of what that voice to Parliament incorporates, then it's a no. Okay. And so it's a no.
There has been a bit of controversy over the years, as you well know, regarding Pauline and Indigenous and some other races. Do you feel that this might sort of label you again?
No, I don't think it will, because Pauline has spent a lot of time up in the Indigenous communities of Australia, and it's well noted, and even though mainstream media continue to label her, and that's all it is. It's just how can I even say this? It's just their inability, I suppose, or their need to just belittle her all the time and try and make light of anything that One Nation does, and just try and make it out to be only a two-party race. So it's all about defamation, I suppose, in a way, of defaming, can't even get that word out, sorry. Defaming her. Yeah, and just, and just lies. It's just been constant lies, to try and people just come down and they say things, and we're like, well, where are you getting this information from? Like, can you actually prove that what you're saying is true? And a lot of people say, oh, no, because it's just what it is.
Okay. Look, better go now. Real pleasure to speak to you, Sandy.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck on the weekend.
Yes,
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, David. Ta. Bless you. Ta.